Hello, hello, hello. How are you this evening? My name is Brian K McNeill, and we have gathered here yet again for another edition of Storytime with Paw Paw B. In your life, there are going to be lots and lots of times people try to tell you what to do. And it's been said by people smarter than me that the surest way to fail is to try to please everyone. Now, I got a story tonight that illustrates what happens when you try to please everyone. And to kick this party started right, we're going to kick it off like this. Hey, yeah, come through, everybody come see. Story time with Paw Paw B, yeah. If entertainment is what you need, story time with Paw Paw B, yeah. Interesting, entertaining for sure. Stories for adults, parents to entrepreneurs. Got you laughing, you gonna have a good time. Still educational. This is what you want now. Come through, everybody come see. Story time with Paw Paw B, yeah. If entertainment is what you need. Story time with Paw Paw B, let's go. Now, this is a classic story. Many of you have heard this story before, but maybe you haven't heard it the way I tell it. But a long time ago, a man, his 10-year-old son, and their donkey are walking from their village into town to go to the market. That's their plan. So as they're walking along and they see a man passes them and says, "Why are you both walking? You have a perfectly good donkey right there. You got your son out here walking. That donkey is made to be ridden. Why don't you let your son ride the donkey while you walk?" So he picks up his son and puts his son on the donkey, and they're walking along a little bit further. A little bit further down the road, a woman sees them and says, "Your son has young legs. You're training your son to be lazy. You should be riding the donkey and let your son with his young legs walk." You're right. So he takes his son off the donkey, and then he sits on the donkey himself, and they're walking along. A little while later, another lady says to them, "Why do you have your son walking when you have a perfectly good donkey that both of you guys can easily ride the donkey? Why not?" So he picks up his son. Now he and his son are both riding the donkey. As they're going along a little while later, another man sees them saying, "Why are you two perfectly healthy people burdening that small donkey like that? You guys could walk as well. You're putting all that extra pressure on your donkey." So now that they heard three different people tell them three different things, so they get this brilliant idea. They tie the donkey's front legs together, and they tie the donkey's back legs together, and they get a pole and put it between the legs, and they decide to carry the donkey. The son has a pole on his shoulder, dad has a pole on his shoulder, and they're walking, carrying their donkey into the marketplace. And when they're about to cross into the marketplace, there's a small bridge that they have to cross. So they're carrying their donkey across the bridge, and the donkey, realizing it's over water, starts to panic and thrash around, and he got one of his legs free. And with their free leg ends up kicking the son, knocking the son down. The son drops the pole. The donkey, in a panic, starts jumping around, ends up jumping into the river. The moral of the story: you try to please everyone, you can lose your donkey. Now, some people say when you try to please everyone, you can lose your another word for donkey. I like this story. This is what happens when you try to please everyone. This is a story I think you should share with your children. Share it with your friends on LinkedIn and on Facebook. But a story about the man, his son, and the donkey. Again, I tell these useful fiction stories as a way to share. I've gathered these stories over 30 years in my life as a speaker and as a sales trainer. So I thought it would be fun to share some of these stories with you. The story of the man, his son, and the donkey shows clearly the fallacy of trying to please everyone. Again, my name is Brian K McNeill, aka Paw Paw B. If you found value in this story, please feel free to share it. Consider this like your bedtime story. Hey, yeah, come through, everybody come see. Story time with Paw Paw B. Yeah. If entertainment is what you need, story time with Paw Paw B. Yeah. Interesting, Got you laughing. You're going to have a good time. This is what you want now. Come through. Everybody come see. Each week, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, I'll come back and share a useful fiction story for you. I hope you find enjoyment with these stories. Feel free to share them again on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, and on your YouTube. If you're catching me on YouTube, consider subscribing. Thank you very much for those of you who chose to join me tonight. These stories don't take very long, and I enjoy telling them to you, and I see every comment, and I appreciate them all. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful rest of your evening.